We've just seen two unexpected phone calls involving leaders of three of the world's biggest economies. Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi spoke today with President Trump at his request, and she says the U.S. president briefed her on his earlier call with Chinese leader Xi Jinping. Now, that was the first direct conversation between Trump and Xi since last month's trade truce. Let's bring in our China correspondent, Minmin to unpack it all. I mean, so many calls. Yeah. The Trump-Xi one was certainly a surprise. What could have led to that phone call, you think?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think there's still some speculation about who exactly initiated the call because that isn't very clear from the readout. And some reports are saying, citing sources, that China was the one that initiated the call, which is quite a rare overture from China. And I think timing is not a coincidence because we came off a weekend of frenzied talks to work out the details of this Ukraine-Russia peace deal. And after that, we have the Trump-Xi phone call. And there has been many analysts drawing parallels between the Ukraine war and the Taiwan situation. And we know China is of the stance that the U.S. has a double standard. It's supporting Ukraine's sovereignty, but then infringing on China's sovereignty. So this was a call in some ways to warn the U.S. and to really set the tone there. The Chinese media readout Xinhua saying President Xi was highlighting the importance of reunification with Taiwan as a key to the post-war order, and also dragging all that World War II context, talking about how China and the U.S. fought shoulder to shoulder against fascism, against Germany and Taiwan, and how important it is to maintain that current world order.
And do you think, the sequence of events that phone call led to the phone call with Trump and Takaichi then this morning?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, it's interesting if you look at the readouts from the Chinese side and the U.S. side. Trump's Truth Social post was very much about soybeans, about fentanyl, about trade, and didn't really mention Japan and Taiwan. But the Chinese readout heavily focused on Taiwan and Ukraine. China also mentioning, it wants to see both sides, Ukraine and Russia, keeping to a binding peace agreement. But definitely Japan was a part of it because Takaichi and President Trump had that phone call at the request of President Trump. He briefed Takaichi on the content of that phone call and also ended saying, call me if you need me. So it's a kind of leaving the door open and really shows you how strong that relationship is at a time when we know the likes of Takaichi, for example, has been touting this new golden era in in Japan-China relations. That's certainly something that I think China will be watching very carefully.